From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Andrea Lutz. There's new information this afternoon surrounding the deadly Boulder, Colorado mass shooting. The suspect is scheduled to make a court appearance, hopefully giving investigators a motive. Well, today, friends and family are remembering those killed at a Colorado supermarket. The 10 victims range in age from 20 to 65. And the White House has lowered its flag for victims just hours after raising it again following last week's Atlanta shootings. Meanwhile, arrest documents show the suspect bought his weapon March 16th, although it's not known where. The purchase happened 4 days after a Colorado judge ruled that Boulder's ban on assault weapons was invalid, saying the ordinance interfered with state law. But the attorneys for the city argued the ordinance didn't address assault weapons specifically. President Joe Biden promised to protect Americans from gun violence and is calling on lawmakers to do the same. He says it's time for the Senate to consider 2 House-passed bills to change background check laws. The president also called for a ban on assault weapons. Governor Greg Gianforte is vowing to fight if the Biden administration relocates migrants from the southern border to Montana, something the White House has suggested could happen. In a letter to the Secretary of State, the governor said Montana is unable to care for those individuals, also saying that he'll take appropriate legal measures to prevent any relocation efforts. Well, this afternoon, we're learning more about a shooting involving U.S. Marshals and a man on the run from Georgia that shut down I-90 for hours. U.S. Marshals shot and killed that suspect following a high-speed chase. The fugitive was forced off the road between Columbus and Reed Point after hitting spike strips. He got out of the vehicle and turned toward police with a gun. So 2 marshals fired after he ignored calls to surrender. More people receive their stimulus checks starting today. The IRS deposited more than 90 million checks directly into accounts just last week, and about 150,000 hard copy checks also sent out. The IRS is working to make sure checks get to people in a timely manner. Well, the U.S. economy still needs help getting out of the coronavirus pandemic. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says more government support shouldn't cause unwanted inflation. Well, still, the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, said they're upbeat about the future of the economy. And we are switching from the news just now to check in on that weather with Miller Robson. Hi there.
Hey, Andrea, glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, just like me and Andrea are. Different tale of 2 different sides of the state. Let's take a look right now. You can see the clouds and some snow off to our west and even in the northwest corner of Wyoming. Off to the eastern side, still have that sunshine, but don't get too cocky. We do have that system coming out of the west that is pushing the snow and the clouds from the west over to the east, so all of us have a chance to see those cloudy conditions and possibly some rain and snow as we go along. Let's take a look from west to east. Kalispell at 41, snow in Missoula at 40, state capital Helena at 43, 41 in Lewistown along the High Line, Havre at 48. We've got 45 in Glendive, and down in northern Wyoming we've got temperatures in the 40s. So we've got the rain and snow coming in. Will it last, or do we have drier than normal conditions coming? I'll take a look here in just a bit. Andrea.
All right, sounds good, Miller. Thank you. This afternoon, Montana hemp producers are in the spotlight for creating a fast-growing market. Members of the Cascade County Farmers Union toured a hemp facility in Fort Benton. That facility turns hemp into products for oil and protein powder.
By learning, we can better improve our own operations and then take information home to talk to our neighbors. Right now, as producers, we're just learning and taking whatever opportunity we can to find out, whether it's a good crop for us.
And the hemp industry is working on expanding to produce fiber hemp. Interesting. Well, fans will be in the stands when the Montana Grizzlies host 2 football games this spring, but the crowds, they are going to be limited. Crowds will be limited to 5,000 fans at Washington Grizzly Stadium, and a new ticket process is in the works, going completely digital. Tickets will go on sale the Monday before each game week to tiered groups. Tickets are sold in pods of 2 and 4 only. Masks are still going to be needed worn, and sorry Grizz fans, there's no tailgating. The Grizz host Central Washington April 10th and Portland State on April 17th. Okay, so Sportsbet Montana has a lot to celebrate these days. It just hit its 1-year anniversary. MTN's Casey Conlon tells us why.
We really did not expect to be launching a technology sports product the day before the NBA shutdown.
Sportsbet Montana had a good plan. The group got their product up and running around the state a week before the biggest sports betting event of the year started. But COVID-19 had a different kind of March Madness in mind in 2020. So newly installed kiosks sat there, empty for months.
When it came back on again and those businesses were open again, the kinds of leagues that you could bet on were very, very strange. I mean, it was Korean baseball, it was MMA.
Their saving grace, a full NFL season in the fall. In their first year, Sportsbet Montana took in $28.7 million in total handle, with football accounting for 31% of that. Basketball came in a close second at 29%, and McKee expects that number to grow after seeing the numbers from the first weekend of this year's NCAA men's tournament. From this past Friday to Sunday, Sportsbet Montana took in just over $735,000 total, with $582,000 of that coming on March Madness games. The total number of bets is an even higher split. 85% of the 21,500 wagers made on NCAA contests.
We really are seeing our number of bettors grow, the number of bets placed grow, more in-game betting and kinds of stuff. You can tell from the activity that people are spending more time actually in the location.
That's what the state was hoping for when they legalized sports gambling in Montana, for kiosks to lure customers into establishments where they would ultimately stimulate the economy. And that means more now than anyone ever expected.
This year, they have earned a total of $1.7 million. And in this strange year, that commission, which during the design phase just seemed like, well, this is only fair. You know, it could have been the difference between making it and not making it.
Businesses take in 6% of the total handle bet on kiosks or on the app people use while in the establishments. That's the only place the app works, and that continues to be customers' biggest complaint, along with betting lines that yield smaller payouts. But McKee says there are two reasons why those won't change anytime soon.
Our gambling laws are a little bit more conservative. In some cases, they're a lot more conservative than Las Vegas. And because of the way sports betting is set up, you can't put a cap on payout. You see it in the line. And the other reason is the way we cut the pie. You know, the Vegas pie is cut 2 ways, the house, the winner. We cut our pie 3 ways, the retailer, the winner, and the state. So you see that a little bit in the line as well.
Still, all things considered,
I think that it was a success in the sense that we launched this thing, it got up off the ground, and it performed as it was intended to. In a huge headwind. We're seeing very successful sales now. We're seeing people enjoying it, which really, I mean, that's why the lottery exists at the end of the day, is so that Montanans have something fun to do.
Especially during the more expected madness this March. Casey Conlon, MTN News.
It's nice to get a checkup of that, Casey. Thank you. We do have more ahead on the new news, including the journey of a battling cancer for the mayor of a small Montana community. We're checking in on him. And Miller's coming up next with a look at that forecast.